Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's your girl Journey. On this tutorial we'll be learning how to make this beautiful gown. It's called milkmaid. So I'm starting by drafting the upper part. I'm going to draft it as if I'm drafting a corset. So the first thing I'm going to do is from shoulder I will get the chest line. I will get the chest line, which is 9 inches. Then I'll get the nipple point, not minding I will not be making use of this nipple point. Then under bust. Then I will get my full length. Don't forget to add your waist line. So after that, I will go ahead and roll the lines. So after rolling the line, the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the shoulder measurement. Shoulder divide by 2. You insert it. Then on the chest line, you insert shoulder measurement also. The next thing is to connect the two dots together. After which I went down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then for the neck width, I make use of 4 inches. You can make use of 3 inches, 3.5. Then neck depth of the front, I make use of 3 inches. Remember, this person is a chubby person. That's why I'm making use of all these measurements. So the next thing is to get the midpoint of the remaining armhole. Then at the midpoint, you come in by half of an inch as usual. Then at the chest line, you insert your bust measurement divide by 4. So the next thing is to insert your body measurements on the bust point, which is also the bust. Then you insert your under bust. If you wish, the under bust is optional. Then after which you insert your waist measurement divide by 4. Then on the full length, I make use of 25 inches here. On the full length, I will be inserting the hip measurement divide by 4. So I'm going to connect this dot together. So I'll go ahead and blend the sharp edges. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to curve the armhole. So I'm going to curve the armhole. After I finish curving the armhole, the next thing I'm going to do is to insert the bust span, which is the nipple to nipple measurements. So at the under bust, I started at the under bust. Insert your nipple to nipple measurements on the waist, then on the full line. I'm going to connect it this way. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to remove half of an inch on the both side of the line. This will serve as the dart, and this dart is optional. So at the chest point, I'll be coming in by half of an inch, but before then I'll go up by 2 inches so that the neck of the dress will not be too down. I came up by 2 inches from the chest line. So on that line, I'll be coming in by half of an inch. So this half of an inch now, I'm going to connect it to this under bust with the help of curve ruler. So this is what we have. So for this part, you know, the dress has a queen's Anne effect, that is neck. So I came out from the armhole part, I came out by 1 inch. So I'm going to connect it to the neck width. So this is it. So I'll be connecting the under bust to that 1 inch I came out by with the help of French curve also. Just make use of your curve ruler here. So this is it for the front part. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to determine where you want your basque line to start. You can start at waist, but I choose to come down by 1 inch. So from that 1 inch, I'll connect it to meet the center front. Just make use of your curve ruler. After curving it, depending on how you want your curve to be, so these parts that I just marked now, I will not be making use of them. I'll proceed in cutting the front. So now I'm adding 1.5 inches that I will use to join the dress. For the dart part, I will not be taking in the dart part. I will just join the peppers this way so that I will end up cutting one piece for the front. I don't want the front to have a vertical dart, so I will just close it up this way. I'll proceed in cutting it. So for the back pattern is very easy to draft. So the first thing I mark is from shoulder. I get the chest line, then waistline and the full length. So after marking that, the next thing you are going to do is to make the dot visible. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to get the shoulder measurement, divide by 2. Then at the chest line, I will mark the shoulder measurement also. Then I'm going to connect, but before that I'm coming down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then the neck of the back is the same 4 inches by width. Then the depth is 1.5. You can make use of 1 inch, sorry. Don't forget to add your zip allowance here. At this point, I now remember that I didn't add the zip allowance, but I will still add it with extra paper. But don't forget, if you are marking it on your fabric direct, don't forget to add your zip allowance. So on the chest line, I'll be marking bust measurement, divide by 4. Then for the back pattern, I will not be coming in by half of an inch like I did for the front. So I'm going to insert the waist measurement, divide by 4. Then at the full length, I'll be inserting the hip measurement, divide by 4. So I'm going to connect the dots. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the dart measurements. But before that, I will come down by 1 inch at the waist part. Then I'm going to curve it to the center part this way, like I did at the front part. So this is the zip allowance paper that I just added now. So for the zip part, I'll be making use of 1.5 inches for the zip allowance. So after adding the 1.5 inches for zip allowance, I'm going to contour the back so that I'll remove the bulging that normally occur at the waist part. So how I'm going to remove that is at the waist part. At the waist part, just watch carefully. At the waist part, I'm going to remove half of an inch from that 1.5 inches I added for the zip allowance. So after removing it, I'll keep my ruler and flow with the and go with the flow. So this is it. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut it out. So I'm going to insert the darts. The dart is from the actual body measurement. I mark bust span. Then from the shoulder, I came down by 12 inches. Then after which I will take half of an inch on the both side, then connect it this way. So for the back, I'll be adding a physical dart. So I will proceed adding 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. After cutting the back, we'll proceed with the breast parts. So for this breast parts, I'll be notching this part to indicate which side is the center and which side is the side. So I'll go ahead and measure it. What I have there, I will divide it into three because I want to slash it into three. You can slash as many as possible so that you add as much as possible, as much as allowance that you want. But here I'm just slashing it three equal parts. So I'm going to label it 1, 2 and 3. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring a fresh paper. This paper, I'm going to place the pieces this way. Then I'll go ahead and add the allowance I wish to add in between the papers. So I'm adding 2 inches each. So after I finish adding the 2 inches on this part, I will proceed in adding 2 inches on this other part. Then after which I will trace the new cup this way. So after tracing it out this way, at the all parts I'm adding 1 inch for the elastic folding. Then at the sides I'm adding half of an inch. For the all parts I added 1 inch, so 1 inch, so that I'll be able to turn it to insert my elastic. Remember to indicate which side is the center. So this is the back. I'll go ahead and cut the back on the fabric. While cutting, don't forget to add your necessary allowance where it should. Like the down part, you add half of an inch for joining. Then at the breast parts, you add half of an inch also. Don't forget to add allowances where it should. So this is the breast part. I've gone ahead to cut it out. On the fabrics, I make use of lace and doshes for the breast part. So I will go ahead and stitch it this way to make the elastic casing. So for the front shoulder, this is the front shoulder. I've got the fabric and the lace. So this is how it's looking like after I finish stitching the elastic casing. I'll go and trim it out. So for the front pattern, this is how it's looking like. So I will not be inserting any darts because I've already covered the darts. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure this opening. What I have here is 6. That means the elastic I'm going to cut is 6 inches. So I'll cut 6 inches into two, one for one and the other one for the other cup. After I finish, I'll go ahead and pass it through the channel case. So this is it after I finish passing it through. This is how it's looking like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold this way so that I'll get the midpoint. So I'll go ahead and join it. I'll join it to this part, but don't forget to fold in this part this way and stitch. Then you join it. I pleat as I go. So this is how it's looking like. So for this part, I left some inches that I will use to, the allowance I added that I will use to join these shoulders. So I'll go ahead and join them. So after that, I will go ahead and stitch it down. After stitching, I've already gone ahead to prepare the back. That is by inserting the darts. So this is how it's looking like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the back and the front. This is the back I'm talking about. I've already gone ahead to add the darts and the zip. For the zip part, I sew the hip part, that is the pointy area, that the basque part, up to 1.5 inches. Then from there I insert the zip. I don't know if you understand what I mean. I stitch down small the down part so that I'll be able to insert the zip. So I've done joining the shoulders. The next thing is to insert the body measurements. So after checking down the body measurements, I will go ahead and close it up. So this is it after I finish joining the side. For the ruffles, this is the zip part, what I mean by stitching down 1.5 inches. So for the ruffles, I will go ahead and measure this round to know what I'm looking for. So this row for the front part. I forgot to insert it when I was inserting the cup part. So I cut out 1 inch width, then the length is as long as you want. Then I went in by folding it and turning it out like a band. So I loosen here a little, then I'm going to insert it this way, then I will sew it down.